everyone, it's Caslow, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for the next segment of my RPG Club playthrough of the detective RPG, Disco Elysium. But before we get started, what is the RPG Club? I've been an avid listener of the podcast The RPG Years, and its predecessor podcast The RPG Golden Years, and RPG The After Years. The podcast focuses on RPG reviews and news. They regularly do a community event known as the RPG Club. Imagine a book club, but for RPGs. They break up a community-chosen RPG into digestible chunks, usually about 5 hours, and discuss those segments every 2 weeks like a book club. If you want to check out the RPG Years, you can find a link in the description below. So last time we were able to convince the union dock workers to cut down the body of the victim. Now we have to perform a field autopsy on the body and see if there's anything interesting. But it largely appears to confirm what we already know, that the man had been hung. With that task accomplished, we head back to get more information out of Joyce, who informs us that the Wild Pines mercenaries may be plotting retaliation against the union workers as a result of the hanging. We also take time to accomplish Everett's task for us by unlocking an apartment behind the whirling rags. And Kim helps us pay off our debt to the rags by pawning off some hubcaps he had confiscated from another case. With this accomplished, we head to bed for day 2. After a creepy dream sequence, day 2 opens up with a group of union workers setting up downstairs. We quickly learn these are the Hardy Boys, who are assisted by the union's legal counsel, Elizabeth, who had been posing as a gardener the day before to keep an eye on us. Interrogating Titus Hardy, the group's leader, leads to the group taking responsibility for the hanging of the victim. Needing to get past Titus's confidence, we go to report back to Everett about completing his task and getting information about Titus. Pressing harder on Titus, the group reveals that the man was hung because he had been sexually harassing a woman at the Whirling Rags, Clashkey, who was the blonde woman we met at the beginning of the game. This leads to a back and forth between interrogating the woman and Titus until we get the full story. Clashkey and the victim had a romantic relationship for several weeks, when one night, in the throes of sex, the victim was shot in the back through the window of her room. The Hardy Boys then helped her cover up the man's murder as a lynching. It also seems the true leader of the Hardy Boys is actually a woman named Rudy, who might be responsible for the shooting, as she seemed attracted to Clashkey. She also had an opportunity to take the shot, and was the one who led the effort to cover up the murder. And to top it all off, she's now missing. Titus informs us that she rents a shack on the coast, but to check it out we have to cross the canal, but the bridge is broken until day 3. With our remaining time on day 2, we begin to accomplish a few side quests. The most notable is investigating the cursed bookstore and businesses that had taken up shop in the building, which results in largely a big nothing burger. There was never really any curse, it was just bad businesses. We do discover a polar bear-shaped icebox in the basement, and a woman making role-playing dice in a separate section of the building. But we head to bed, and that is all for this section. This section was slightly frustrating, primarily from not knowing where the section ended. But I guess that's a problem with non-linear games. And spoilers. It didn't help that I also had to save scum several checks just to move the story forward. However, it also made me really start focusing on what gear I was wearing and taking advantage of bonuses from smoking and drinking. From a story perspective, I like that we're really getting into solving the mystery, walking through the process of breaking down the Hardy Boys, and then poking hole in Clashkey's story to really get to the truth of what was actually going on was really engaging. I've also had a few fun bad endings so far, including one where I took myself out to prove how crazy I was in front of the Hardy Boys. Now it's time to buckle down, cross the canal, and find the murderer. But that's it for this segment of the Disco Elysium RPG Club. If you want to follow along, be sure to hit that subscribe button to see new videos when they are posted. Additionally, if you want to check me out elsewhere, I have links to my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord in the description below. See you all next time.